Hey YouTube, this is Future Fear. I'm going to give you a rundown a little bit quicker than I did when I was live. This is going to be a crew battle draft of the 6 players you see on screen. One of us, either me or chat, is going to pick first, fourth, and fifth, and the other one's going to pick second, third, and sixth. So you're about to hop into a coin flip in which we decide whether or not it's going to be chat or me who gets to pick which order they get into, and then I'll show you the picks and we'll get into the game. I'm looking for heads. You guys are looking for tails. Ugh. All right. You guys win. You guys win. Your whole team will have to all lose a game before it ends. So in theory, you can have one player on your team who ends up carrying the whole team by beating everyone on the other team and never dying, which does maybe lean towards wanting to pick first if you think you can pick the hard carry.
We pick why we first pick, right, chat?
All right, chat seems pretty sure. Their leader, Vacanus, has told them to pick first, fourth, and fifth. And they seem pretty adamant on getting to pick first. Fairly unsurprisingly, chat selects Diaz with the first pick in the Fear versus Chat crew battle draft. Team Fear selects Firstkiller. With a third pick in the Fear vs. Chat crew battle 1v1 NA edition, Team Fear selects Evo. I'm taking Evo. I'm going boring. I'm going top 4 salt mine. Chat seems pretty certain on their next pick though. They do not want to let me have the theoretical Diaz counter. Chat wants Wavy. Okay, chat wants Chronic. By a slim margin, they've selected Chronic as the last member of their team, which means Beast Mode goes to me. Chat seems pretty certain again that they want Chronic to go first. I don't know, did somebody in chat pioneer that, or is that obvious for all of you guys to just want Chronic to go first? Chat wants Diaz last. They're anchoring in theory with Diaz. They just went the opposite order of the way that they drafted. Chat, these were my selections. I said Firstkiller first, then Beast Mode, then Evo. So this is our set of matchups to start. Chat, here we go. It is the Fear versus Chat crew battle return. It's the North American edition. If you're watching right now, you probably caught the draft on the YouTube video right before this. If not, welcome to the first match. Me and Chat have both drafted teams here of the 6 available players in North America to play for everything in the world on the line. That's right. If my team wins, everybody has to subscribe to the YouTube if you're watching right now, as well as drop your Prime on Twitch, and I get to unmod that pesky mod Rusty, who earned it the hard way, but I'm going to earn the unmod the hard way, whereas everyone else on the other side, if you're on YouTube, well, I guess it doesn't matter because you didn't get to vote and you're not part of the people who drafted, but you're also not going to get the reward, which is 10 marbles games on stream if Team Chat is able to win. Now, we've done this once before. We did it during the 9 to 5-a-thon with EU players, and my team got fully swept. My team got fully swept, I won't lie. I feel like I got a little bit scammed by the world because the 2 players that I drafted for that one, if you guys don't remember, was Drowley and Moxie. Now, if you watched recent EU RLCS, those are the 2 grand finalists. I mean, at the end of the day, it seemed like I had a pretty good team, but they got entirely swept by your guys' team. You guys have once again selected to pick first, and you have gone with Diaz and then Wavy and Chronic after I picked Firstkiller and Evo. So that is how these teams got made if you didn't catch the drafts. And Chronic and Firstkiller are our opening series. These guys are playing for $100. So Firstkiller or Chronic, whoever wins this best of 5 will get $100. If they end up winning with their entire team, they get a $50 bonus, whether they win or not. So for example, you know, when my team wins, let's say Firstkiller happens to lose this series. When my team does eventually win, Firstkiller will still get $50, even though he lost the game he played. So a slight bonus to give them some camaraderie here for playing for each other, but also $100 playing for themselves. Chronic, though, is going to start looking a little bit stronger here than Firstkiller. We were talking a little bit about the RL duels history of these two players. We went and checked all the first round matchups because we had a bit of extra time. And there's no question that if you're going just based purely off history, that the Firstkiller versus Chronic matchup heavily favors Team Feer. It heavily favors Firstkiller because he's like 12-4 all time. But the problem is the recent games are the ones that Chronic has actually won. I think that 12-4 history probably made its way all the way up to 11-0, I think, even. So there's a chance that it's like 4-2 in favor of Chronic in the past 6 games without, or 4-3, whatever that would be, without really checking it all, you know, to see if that's perfectly correct. Firstkiller needs to get on the board here for Team Feer after Chronic has pulled up a big lead. But the reason why we switched over to North America as well is because the North American RLCS is coming. A lot of people have been talking about, you know, watching EU and South America saying, what's the deal? Why just EU? You know, where's my MENA homies? Where's my NA homies? Well, the answer is that the RLCS for them is showing up in this next split. NA and MENA will be playing ones, as well as I think at least a couple other regions. I'm trying to remember which ones that they are, but they're not going to be the ones that play at the major. Whoever wins the MENA and whoever wins the North American one will be at the major, as Chronic is going to make it 5-2. A nice air dribble. Firstkiller's pre-jump does not connect. It does slightly bump Chronic, but it's not going to matter. Now, chat, we all agree to be completely unbiased, right? I will commentate from an unbiased perspective, and I'm sure you guys will root for everybody in the matches unbiased. Nice little sidewall dash there from Firstkiller in order to get that long shot. I also love the orange splash. Keep streaming, bro. Revive RL. That's what I'm talking about. That's a great first-time chatter. If only every first-time chatter was as complimentary as this guy who thinks I can revive Rocket League by streaming. I'll do it for you. Firstkiller, wave dash kickoff, and he will tie the game right around the halfway mark. A really high-scoring game here. 5-5. As Chronic tried to delay, but Firstkiller actually ended up just pulling back and almost getting a reset on the ball, it would seem. Either way, he got a big pancake and kept it around for him to be able to follow up. And now Firstkiller, another kickoff in his favor. Firstkiller's flick will get caught and saved by Mr. Chronic. I think Firstkiller has played... Ooh, nice recovery off the ceiling. He's played in this format before. I want to say he played for USA against Saudi Arabian's B team in the World Cup format for this, and ultimately tried to hold it down for his team, but I remember KSA B won. So Firstkiller, I think, won a couple games, but lost in that round 5. Hopefully the Team Fear squad will not ask anywhere near as much from Firstkiller here today. But as it stands right now, Chronic back in the lead, 6-5. Firstkiller got a little bit of leeway, but... Or sorry, I should say Chronic got a bunch of leeway at the start. Firstkiller able to dwindle it back, but will still play from behind as he was 360 power sliding in nets. Trying to force Chronic to bump this one out of position, playing from the wrong side of the ball. Try to get physical, does not end up paying off. Chronic's still around. So a 2-goal lead for Chronic. All the games, if we weren't clear, are going to be best of 5. So Firstkiller and Chronic are playing a full best of 5 against each other. Whoever loses will be eliminated, and the crew battle will continue until one team is fully eliminated. Firstkiller has a reset shot. Nice play to get around Chronic off the back wall. Chronic tried to get the read, and ultimately was maybe expecting a fake in that exact moment. You can't just say dies of cringe for every goal that my player does. That was not a dies of cringe play. Linder, they gave the tier 1 for 8 months, by the way. Firstkiller able to pre-jump. Actually still had a flip left over to make the save. Heavy touch to the side wall. He wanted to get a quick shot on net. Doing so, though, is a bit of a trade-off. If Chronic does make it back, he's likely to end the possession there. And that's exactly what he did. He ends up countering. Firstkiller forced into defense Although he's in a really good spot. Chronic wanted the 50 at the midfield, didn't get it, and Firstkiller will put it in an open net. 7-7 with 47 seconds left to go. Gamble would say otherwise. Wait, that's interesting. Oh my goodness. I just checked the predictions. When you guys put your Wikipedia points where your mouth is, and you actually didn't put your Wikipedia points where your mouth is, you put them on Firstkiller. Chat has a 72% chance of Firstkiller winning, which is good for Team Feer, as Firstkiller is going to take this one to the ground. Ooh, not the flick I think he was hoping for. Probably one of the stronger one. Chronic going to pass to himself off the back wall, and it will result in another Firstkiller possession. Firstkiller bringing the ball down to a carry. Actually just going to shoot it from the side wall. Bit of a risk, but does make it back because he did miss hit back wall. That's usually a good setup for the other player. Firstkiller pre-jumps so early. The dive does not work. Chronic is staring at a wide open net, and he makes sure to roll it in nice and slow in order to waste the last precious seconds. Those pre-jumps have been 50-50 there for Firstkiller. They've paid off here and there, but in the most important moment, it looks like it's not going to. This one is to the side wall. Firstkiller needs to get to the boost. Chronic both steals the boost and jumps over a demo, so he guarantees Team Chat gets their first game win as he goes up 1-0 in this best of 5. Game number 2. Firstkiller and Chronic. Firstkiller, big win. He's actually going to try and just rush it straight to the net. He knew Chronic went for the ball. Nice recovery from Chronic. Or Chronic went to the midfield for the 100. And once you get that beat, you usually can put speed behind the ball and beat them there. That's what Firstkiller tried to do. But credit to Chronic on a speedy recovery in order to find his way back. Firstkiller just got bumped onto the back wall, and he improvises to make the clean save. And then Chronic's going to pass him the ball. A flick is just a little bit too soft to actually convert on it. But there it is, demo, and a wide open net is going to be missed. It's going to roll high. Certainly he finishes it, though. He will. Firstkiller will be the first to score in game number 2. What was that, Insane? Insane is a mod here, so we can't time him out. Oh no, thank goodness. That was not an own goal. Otherwise, I would start asking what chat paid Firstkiller to throw. And clearly it must be bigger than the $100 prize pool. But Firstkiller does not put it in the nets. And now looking to attack. This is not unusual from what I know about Firstkiller and how he likes to play ones, but just booming that ball ground level at the net is not something you're going to see very often from these top ones players, as that's so often a handover of possession. But Firstkiller likes to get the ball movement high and just relies in his ability to read plays quicker. And oh, the double demo. A nice one from Chronic, but on the another respawn, another bump. Oh my goodness, Firstkiller missed though. He set it up too high. He went for the triple demo play, or at least the triple bump play, and just barely wasn't able to get it. Now, a nice fake into wave dash flick, and yet Chronic still somehow able to get a touch on it. Firstkiller, bounce dribble, hook shots, top shelf. Firstkiller now drops the thanks. To be fair, that one was cringe. Obviously, the chat is a wall of dies of cringe. Specifically because it was my player, but also it was a triple demo play. Nice save from Firstkiller. As Chronic now off the side wall. Another great save into the crossbar ping. Counterattack probably not available, but really solid speed flips to get to this 50. Firstkiller has to just extend out past the play, otherwise he's going to get demoed. Firstkiller can't undercut Chronic on the ball. He is so good off the midfield 100, but he ends up putting it too far. And that last touch plays it towards Firstkiller. Chronic is one of the more deadly players when it comes to picking up that midfield 100. Normally he's doing it off the kickoff, but any situation you have to worry. Now an air dribble from his own half. Nice read at Firstkiller's challenge. That last air roll through the ball can put it out ahead of defenders. Chronic maybe making it look like he goes reset instead. Gives it one more touch, and he's on the board in game number 2. Chat is really one-dimensional, just spamming lives of based. Every time Chronic scores, and dies of cringe every time Firstkiller scores. Surely, even if you're going to be biased, you know, there's other ways to be biased. We're not being biased. Oh, right. Of course. Firstkiller. Oh, what a save again. Firstkiller on the goal line. It's been impeccable today, or at least in game number 2. It's hard to say either one of them on the goal line were doing too great in the 8-7 game that started. Chronic, I don't know if he was looking for the full field redirects or not, aka the Psycho. I know that people in chat just had an aneurysm because I didn't say Psycho. Soft flick from Chronic. Firstkiller, save into the net. He has 66 boost to work with. He is going to go meet the ball, try and steal it away from Chronic. This is a high bounce and not a ton of boost left over. A flick and another great save from Firstkiller to send it high. I can't believe we have a 2-1 game after what we just saw in game number 1. Firstkiller again being ultra aggressive on his challenges, and it's been paying off, so it's hard to blame him, but finally, Chronic will get around him as he uses his flip. Did the ball teleport? Am I crazy? Or did that ball teleport? And Firstkiller should have gotten a touch. Either way, tie game with a minute left to go. Sidewall setup. Firstkiller, I would say slow to react to it. It seemed like Chronic was clearly going to give him that. What is Chronic's car made of? The fact that that did not move at all. Wait a second. No, I don't know. Can we get the referees on this one? How did Chronic's car not move at all when Firstkiller went to bump him? But apparently, when the bump happens the other way, Firstkiller gets sent out of the play. 42 seconds left to go, and now Team Feer needs a little volatility that has not been present here in this game so far. Chronic on 0 boost. Actually not the end of the world. Firstkiller, even though he just got demoed, might even be in a better position with 100. And now a chance to attack. Interesting touch to try and keep it away from Chronic. He does pull all the boost out of him and get a demo. So now respawning Chronic will have to try and save a Firstkiller attack. Firstkiller absolutely has to score. Nice backflip flick over the top of him. This will be a free finish. And Firstkiller elects to style out a half flip after tapping it in. 15 seconds left to go. Firstkiller needs a lead here to tie the series. And look at the wave dashing. Wave dash kickoff, then wave dash into the side wall. The speed from Firstkiller to convert this 4th goal. He is showing how to use these dashes, that specific setup to get the wave dash pop and recover quickly on the side wall. It's just masterful. Delay kickoff from Chronic. Some could argue delay kickoffs are cringe, but something tells me chat won't say so. Chronic dunked on the goal line. Firstkiller will tie it up 1-1 in this first round of Team Feer versus Team Chat. So we head to game 3. All tied up. Game number 3. Firstkiller and Chronic. I'm hoping we're going to see just about everybody play in RLCS 1s. I would say we had nearly everybody over in EU. Special circumstances, I think, led to Zen ultimately dropping out, but we basically had just about everybody. I think Zen was the main missing player over in EU. Chronic, oh my goodness. A nasty reset and flick, but it's crossbar and out. And now Firstkiller the other way. It's going to do a little bit more of the same. The double crossbar, and then he can't get around it. He could not get around it for the right touch to put it in the net. So instead, he's going to have to go side wall. Chronic being aggressive with his challenges. Firstkiller got the reset. He'll use it to jump himself back down, and he'll score first in game number 3. The other roster change we actually didn't talk about was Diaz, who's going to be playing here today in this tournament, being joined now by Frosty with CRR for complexity. That'll be an interesting squad as Diaz continues to play in NA and will play in the NA1s at the end of the split here. All of these guys will hopefully... I'd be surprised if any of them didn't queue RLCS 1s. They also set up the regionals. I don't know if you guys remember, it went EU first, And then NA, nice power slide cut from Firstkiller. He's going to be able to bring it all the way back for the second goal. Doing Chronic dirty, as he has been down to play the ground game. But anyways, they have NA going first this time, and I think that's so that they finish first and then can do the ones afterwards. NA and Mina, that is. Firstkiller seemingly in love with those sidewall dashes. Every time he's over there now, just throwing one in there for a little bit extra speed at no cost of boost. He is able to get around Chronic this time, but cannot shoot the ball on target. Now, backing off to the midfield. Slamming this one into the ceiling and then towards the net. It's going to cost him all his boost, but it is placed well. Still, though, might have to deal with the counterattack. Firstkiller has himself in the right spot. And now possession can be tough to collect off the back wall. Chronic is just going to leave, make it a little bit easier on him, but yet still, he hasn't really gotten a clean touch to control it, as he hasn't been able to separate it here from this left wall. And it will keep going down the field. There's maybe a chance to score. Firstkiller actually didn't try at all. He elected to just instead play the possession game across the field and continue the attack longer. Will it end up paying off? Chronic long shot. Firstkiller, huge redirect off the back wall, but not one that is really a shot. Chronic, that's not the best touch. Fortunate for him, but the follow-up shot from Firstkiller was in a spot that he could save. Now Chronic, air dribble reset. Look at the power off of the tornado spin through the ball. I'm not sure if he meant to clip this or wanted it. It kind of puts him almost a little bit out of reach, but it definitely is something Firstkiller is probably not expecting. And now Chronic on the board. Another low-scoring game at the start. Firstkiller tap to himself, sending it into the corner, and he just seems to be playing the possession game, but instead of playing it back in his own half, he's playing it in Chronic's half. Doesn't seem to too urgently go for a shot. He says, if I'm in control of the ball, then everything's going to work out, and you know what? He could be right here, although it will be a counterattack after Chronic did momentarily gain control. 3-1 for Firstkiller. Chronic off the sidewall, reset shot. Oh my goodness. I think Chronic makes it seem like he's going to go right with this ball. I got to watch it again here. But normally, when you get this reset, you see how far on the left side of the ball he is. Usually it means some kind of play is going to be headed right, but instead he rolls back around the ball and puts it the same direction he was coming from off the wall. He's able to slot it bottom left. Firstkiller now bumped away from the play. Chronic wants to go back to his happy place, that side wall 100. Can he make something happen off of it? Firstkiller has pre-jumped him and forced him back, but Chronic saved his boost and he says, I'll go to the other side wall. Might even like this right side more. I'm sure players prefer one or the other, but Chronic's gonna go for a ground pinch far away from the ball, or sorry, from the net. He's actually not able to pick up any of the hundreds, so it'll be instead Firstkiller possession as he's gonna go for the sidewall. Heavy first touch though, is really gonna throw away the opportunity to go for a sidewall dribble. He was gonna have to be passing it off the ceiling or something with how heavy he went for the first touch. 0 boost for him now, so has to be careful if he is gonna go in and try and 50. And might even be in big trouble either way. Chronic goes too high. Fortunate for Firstkiller, 30 seconds left to go. Firstkiller has the lead and no boost. He is gonna elect to leave. Prioritizing boost here in the final moments over pressuring the ball. Chronic double jump bump. Firstkiller is able to slow it down. It is still headed towards the net. Firstkiller waiting on the back wall. He's going to collect this ball here in the corner. Chronic's 50 is decent. He's going to go for a pinch. No! Firstkiller, the idea was clear. Pinch it on the back wall and get it out to the other side of the field, but he just puts the nastiest double top left that I've ever seen. Oh my goodness. An own goal for the ages for Team Feer. I can't believe it, but it is only a tie game. I shouldn't have watched it over, but I had to watch it over. I don't want to get, oh my goodness, he did it again. He went for another cheeky save. This one off the post to the ground. Overtime in game number 3. Firstkiller, little bump onto Chronic. Feeling good about this position for Team Feer. Chronic sure has the ball, but only for a moment. He tries to put the ball in a dead zone, and he has actually done a pretty good job of that. You can see Firstkiller clearly not able to get a clean control, although Chronic just got bumped. He's going to be awkward, and Firstkiller will still get the win. The double oops from both these guys. Not the cleanest own goal, or maybe it is the cleanest own goal I've ever seen. But Team Feer will go up 2-1 in its best of 5. Game number 4. Firstkiller on the verge of getting a win for Team Feer. And I'll be honest, guys. My team has never gotten the win before. It's feeling pretty good, although we're not there yet. I swear I know ball at least a little bit. And it'd be nice to prove that with a win for my team. But I cursed it, and Chronic is going to score first here in game number 4. Long shots from Chronic. Firstkiller trying to pass to himself. Actually just pinned it up high. He's going to have to use his boost advantage just to clear it. He had a big boost advantage on Chronic, but no choice but to give that all up to send that ball away. Chronic going to double to himself. Has a reset, but not going to be able to get his musty in time. And so instead, it'll be Firstkiller, who actually shot it way too hard to the right. I think there was a big space on the left side of the net that is a goal. But he powers his long shot pretty much on the right post. If that was going to go in, it was going to be just barely. That does allow Chronic to make the save. Nice backflip from Firstkiller. Good speed on the speed flip to get to this one before Chronic, who ultimately played it fairly safe, was trying to single jump wave dash to get a really quick recovery. And yet still it wasn't fast enough, considering he didn't win the 50 by enough. It's kind of a trade-off. How much do I want to win the 50? Just how much do I want to make sure that I can recover? You need to find the perfect mix. And this time Chronic a little bit too focused on the recovery. Did not win the 50 by enough. Great placement here from Chronic though. Firstkiller on the respawn. Actually not in a bad spot to defend this flick. And I think it's a miss. Yeah, Firstkiller own goals it, but not like the own goal we saw before. That one was much less forced. Firstkiller has no choice, I would say, to jump and try and cover that flick, considering how close it was to being crossbar and in. Chronic going for a pinch. Firstkiller did not want to let that happen, but actually didn't get a touch, it doesn't seem, to prevent it. Maybe he rushed Chronic, though, and forced him to miss that flick. Firstkiller going for the ground demo, doesn't get it, and tried to cut the ball back on target. Rolling back the clock here in the 1v1 game. Used to be a much more popular strategy on the ground. Doesn't do well for the Team Fear being cringe arguments, but that's okay. I've never been bothered by that. Chronic reset shot dunked. Double bump onto Firstkiller, and the third goal for Chronic as he tries to force game 5. Chronic up to the back wall, reset, triple. Couldn't keep it going long enough. He's able to play this one around Firstkiller, but he has no boost, so he's going to have to just leave. Firstkiller will prep his setup to the skies. Chronic is up there as well. Chronic went ahead of the play, but actually did a great job of mirroring it and 50ing it down to the ground. The boost, though, continues to be in Firstkiller's favor. He is definitely going to be a victim of a demo, or he's going to be somewhere close to it. Actually manages to evade it. Pretty impressive, and then makes a save. Got a slight bump on the Chronic, and it's going to dash better than him. I think Chronic missed his dash. I'll have to go back and watch it, because Chronic was right next to him. I don't know if both of them were going for dashes at the same time. Oh, did he get undercut? Did he get thrown off by Firstkiller, and then, I don't know, he backflipped? I think there's no way, right? No matter what you do, if you're backflipping, it probably means you had a miss input. Firstkiller. That flick's going to be very manageable, although actually Chronic bouncing off the post, probably not ideal. He's awkwardly trying to decide whether he's going to defend on the back wall or not. Again, having to bounce off the post. Early pre-jump as these guys play a bit of rock, paper, scissors back and forth. I think Chronic's going to come out the victor. Oh my goodness, a dunk straight towards the net. Again, Chronic not ready. This one, probably a little bit, more to blame Chronic for. When he's trying to win in the corner, it can be tough to get those reads, but Chronic sets up this dribble so far on top of his car instead of out towards the front of it that there's really no adjustment to be made when Firstkiller starts coming. Oh, that's just a nice flick. From Firstkiller's POV, I think, was there a lot of adjustment here from Chronic? Just a stronger flick than he was expecting. He ended up kind of dashing out and then having to hit the brakes, which kept him stagnant. Firstkiller pass off the sidewall. Chronic pre-jumps it. Reset from Firstkiller on the ball to wave that shot. 50. Oh my goodness. These guys back and forth. Chronic doing his best to try and stop any aerial play, and actually didn't have the worst adjustment ever as he uses a ton of boost to get back to the orange box. But once you're moving that fast backwards, 50s are not going to go your way. You're basically playing in favor of the opponents. Firstkiller trying to pinpoint slot the top of the nets. Chronic makes that save and will pick up 100. These guys go to the skies again. Firstkiller, nice touch here from Firstkiller to get around Chronic. A sneaky last touch as these guys trying to decide where this ball is going to end up. Firstkiller makes it look like he's not going to go for it, and then air rolls through right as Chronic elects to go down and taps it over the top of him. And now Firstkiller back in the lead. $100 on the line immediately for him. If his team needs more help from him, he might have a chance to win more than just $100 today. But 52 seconds away from securing his first. Chronic to the skies. Reset. Put it around Firstkiller. No. Firstkiller has the read. Won't be able to get a counterattack. Nice demo. Can Chronic score off of it, though? Able to wave dash on the landing after getting popped up by the demo, and then he just tried to put it near post, and Firstkiller stayed there. He did not get baited into overextending and leaving that part of the net open. And now 6-4. 28 seconds left to go. When we looked at these matchups historically, being Firstkiller Chronic, Beast Mode Wavy, and Diaz Evo, the Firstkiller Chronic one was the only one that favored Team Feer. And there it is, the GGs. Firstkiller going home at least $100 richer today and getting Team Feer the first win of the day. GG's.